You cut out there.
When I use headphones, it's mainly so nobody gets annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost a lot of hearing from playing music without earplugs. That started when I was about 13 years old. So I've lost hearing. So to hear better, I have to use headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, I'm the same way. When it does come to music, absolutely. I have them on me right now. I don't have both. One's in the car, one's in the Jeep of a girl I ride with from the vocational center back to the high school. It's in her Jeep somewhere. She's probably gonna find it when she cleans it out over the summer, and she'll be like, "Oh, that's where that went." I've got one, but like if you ever say, "Hey, listen to this song," can't listen to it off the phone speaker. I can't listen to it off the computer. I have to be listening it into a headphone because as a musician, I'm trying to listen for. Oh, they just connected to the phone. Wow. I'm trying to listen for not just oh, how does it sound? It's like, yeah, I expect the song to sound good unless you send some irritating thing to me, then I'm gonna be really mad at you. But I'm listening for multiple instruments so I can tell that person, yeah, I really like how the clarinets sound in this section. I really like how the violins sound in this section. Things like that, because that's how I can say this confidently. That's how I'm programmed as a musician. Sure. When you become a musician, that's like you get trained and you like just get this like sense of like canny ability of programming, because it's like you are a musician and now you learn at a young age that you have to just not listen to yourself playing, but you have to listen to others around you. And so for me, headphones is the way to go whenever I'm listening to music. If it's anything else like audio, like of a video or anything, I just listen to it through the phone speaker, through the speaker of the.
That's why PC. I said earlier, it's all subjective. It all comes down to personal preference.
Yeah, and that's just my personal pet peeve / preference. I mean, I'm sure there's others in this VC who, they're like, well, I listen, I'm used to listening, to everything through headphones. I mean. And, it's depending on the job you do, like if you're a person who wears headphones a lot of the audio for whatever you're using is going through your headphones, like for your sake, like how you're a music producer, I'm sure a lot of the stuff you listen to is probably through some type of headphone now.
Because you got to make sure that you're also compensating for what the speakers are representing too. That's the thing. So, some people that are in studios, they'll do to check nuance, they'll put headphones on, but then to listen to it as a complete sound, they will have speakers. But again, you have to have a controlled environment. Otherwise, it'll sound like crap. Imagine if Dazzle did not have a controlled environment for the radio station. It would sound like dog crap. It would sound like you're in a gymnasium.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That or you'd be hearing Mikey in the background the entire time bouncing off the walls. Be bouncing off the walls. He's giving me the death stare. He's getting ready to grab that 50 cal. So he's so
now you're going. He's coming for you.
He's like I'm sending the FBI's CSI unit to track your address. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
I love it. But you're right though. So like a really good point. This is a great example. Actually, I'm really glad that I'm a part of this. We have a winter marching program we called Winter Winds. We have a sound system as a backtrack that we use, and we play in gymnasiums. It's like indoor marching kind of type.
Oh yeah.
So our director has a sound system. He's got 2 tall speakers and a giant bass speaker, and so we constantly audio check it whenever we go to a new gym, because we're the gym that we currently use may not be loud enough.
Yep, that's right.
And so when we go to these bigger gyms, the first thing we ask the judges, or like the field judge will say, "Can you please check the sound system?"
Yep.
We want to make sure it's loud enough. And so we had the opportunity to test it in my high school's gym, which is much bigger, like extremely bigger. We're using an elementary school gym as our main practice field, but we got the chance to go to the main gym at my high school, and my high school has a real gym. The gym in the elementary, it's for 8-year-olds. It ain't gonna be very big. And so we were really happy because we'd be able to test what the sound system sound like in a controlled environment, like you said. That way we'd be able to hear this is how it sounds, and we can ask the music arranger, hey, could you turn up the audio in the backtrack, on this part here just a little bit more? Yep. Could you turn it down on this part more? And it really helps because then you don't have to worry about those things during critique as the director walk up to the judge and then the judge tells you your backtrack was too loud or your sound system was too quiet. You can test all those things just by having a good room to use it in and in a controlled environment. The thing is,
every room is going to be different no matter what. I don't care if it's a gymnasium or a theater.
Oh, absolutely.
Or every room. And that's the same with bands. Bands have that same issue where rock bands have to have line check. You have to have sound check because if stuff is going to sound in one room, it may sound like crap in another room, so you got to adjust all your EQs. And that brings me to my next point about audio interfaces. And Dazzle does not use an audio interface. He just uses his microphone and the magic of OBS and things like that. Now, I use an actual mixer. I have a physical mixer sitting right next to me. It's a Xenix from Behringer, and it's the 1204 USB. So I channel all of my audio through this. My microphone goes through this. I've got it EQ'd the way for this particular microphone. I split my audio with my HD, so I actually can use volume control on my TV. So I don't have to use my TV's volume. I can use my mixer's volume. It's a lot more complex of a setup. But that want to just do simple recording, it's amazing when I was starting out, none of this stuff was even affordable. Yeah. Even the most basic of basic was like $300.
Oh yeah.
And they weren't even small units. Like, these were large units. These were not tiny portable things. When we had like the Tascam 4 tracks for recording on cassette, and that was not much bigger than maybe 12 by 10 or whatever, 12 by 8. But nowadays, with technology the way it is now, the ability to use something like a Scarlett, which is one of the most popular recording interfaces or audio interfaces from Focusrite, to Sonis's Audio Box, which is basically the same thing. You have options. You can even I like physical controls. Like I like physical, turning a knob, running a fader, pushing a button. I like that. I do too. I don't like virtual. I need to be able to hands-on. Matter of fact, I use Voicemeeter sometimes when I'm running my radio station. What I use is I have a MIDI controller that's USB driven, so I can actually work Voicemeter's faders, which are a digital representation on my screen, but I can physically move them using MIDI control. So, yes, I'm a lot more advanced with a lot of my gear, but this is trial and error, man. This is trial and error, and I've had more error than success. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, and you'll always have more error than success. John F. Kennedy has a great quote. I can't remember. This is going to be extremely
I did not bang that woman, Miss Monroe.
Yeah, so, he has a great saying that, this is going to be like this. He did not directly say this, by the way. This is going to be extremely paraphrase / not at all what he said, but he basically says you will fail more times than you will before you succeed. And I had a poster up here. Sadly, I took it down because I think it got ripped in half by the dog.
I mean, that's life.
I sure blame the dog.
I had it there, and it said that basically, it was a really long quote, but it basically said that if you don't fail, you will never succeed.
I mean, that's life, right?
That's exactly how That's exactly how life and that's how everything works.
And that's the problem with.
I had to restart my stream, Daniel.
They don't want to lose, therefore we have to win. The participation trophy is because of those people not wanting to lose.
And that's the thing is that there's that problem, and then there's the issue of babying certain things. Like we need to teach people what it feels like to lose, so they know that feeling. So when it happens to them when they're an adult, they're not like super, please excuse my language, bitchy about it, or they're not, super like crybaby about it.
Okay, do you know how I learned? Do you know how I learned not to hurt myself? I literally learned how to not kill myself by putting a freaking spoon between a light socket or an outlet and a plugged-in device. I literally did that as a kid. Okay, that's how I learned not to do that. Was literally took a metal spoon, stuck it between a plugged-in lamp that was on and the socket. I got shot across the room. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, and that's
how you have to do it. That is, you have to take your beatings.
My God,
I learned.
That's why I am the way I am.
I had the same way. I learned not to touch electrical wires when the electricity was on, because I'd be helping, I'd be 6-year-old me helping my dad, and I'd be like, yeah, just let me reconnect these wires. He's like, no, don't touch that, and I go flying across the room, and I'd be like, ow, hurt. And he goes, it's on you. He goes, it's on, and he'd start cussing me out for it. And he's like, I said not to touch that, this, and that.
Here's a good example,
I didn't know. Nowadays, I know because I got launched across the room from 10,000 plus volts of electricity that just flew through my fingers.
And one of the thing is,
like, we just got to, I got to reconnect these wires real quick. They'll be okay. Oh, God! And then you get launched across a solid, 2 feet.
And I wouldn't worry about the stuff going through your fingers. I'd be more worried about the shit going across your heart and throwing your heart off. That'll kill.
The thing is, that's exactly what happens with a lightning strike. If you don't stand in that lightning safety position, the lightning flow will travel through your body, into your heart, all through your body, and then your heart will either. You have like a 100 chance of surviving.
That's why you bend over, grab your ankles, and kiss your ass goodbye.
Exactly. If you're not staying in that lightning safety position, and you get struck by lightning. That lightning's going through your heart. Your heart is immediately fried from the electricity. You no longer have anything pumping, and you basically you're deceased, basically standing up until you fall over again from the dead weight.
What I was gonna say though, I mean, there's a lot of bands that will play live concerts and will start pouring rain out, and then you get somebody who does not know how to ground electrical systems on these portable stages. And they will go up, they're soaking wet, and they'll touch a metal wrought iron railing. What do you think is going to happen?
They're going to go flying.
Electric chair. Yeah. And how many musicians have died because of that? I mean, there actually has been cases where musicians have died.
Well, I almost died on my so this wasn't necessarily a guy with electricity. This was with my podium. So the podiums we have, they stand about 10 feet tall in the air. They weigh more than about 400 pounds. You need a dolly to move it. So I'm moving my podium, and it's windy out, and it's rainy. So we have to put the podium together. This guy, because these podiums are so heavy, they require you have to kick in the wheels, so the podium isn't unbalanced.
Yep.
So he forgets to kick in the wheels. So he's climbing up there. I'm helping the other drum major get his podium out. So this guy's climbing up there, and he's like, pass me up the rails, the safety rails, to prevent me from falling and killing myself. And he's putting one in there, and it's pouring rain, and it's windy. Sure enough, dude, if he didn't put that first safety rail in, he would have fallen off the podium, cracked his head open, and he would have died. Sure enough, he went to take a step forward to put in the next rail, wind caught him off balance, his right foot slipped on the rein. What ended up happening was he used his right hand to grab the front rail, and he fell on his back. It was still painful, but if he didn't have the right rail there, he would have fallen overboard and onto the pavement. And I just hear a loud boom, and I was like, we're putting the podium down, the next podium down. I was like, what was that? And I turn around, I see an adult guy on my podium. I was like, hey, I shouted, I was pissed. because I hate when people try setting up my podium, because my podium has to be set up a specific way for me as a drum major. Otherwise, I just can't. I don't feel right on top of the podium.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be like, what are you doing on top of my podium? I was like, get off of there right now.
Don't you touch my podium, you bastard.
And he's all, well, I'm an adult. You can't yell at me. So he's like, I'm trying to put your rails together. I was like, that's my job. I go, that's not your job. I go, your job is to help with getting these podiums out of the truck trailer. After that, the job of setting them up is my responsibility. I go, that is my podium, not yours. Get off of it. Dude steps down. Director comes over to me and he's like, hey, we had a report that you yelled at a parent. He goes, what was it about? And I was like, he was on my podium. And he's like, and then my director literally just like nodded in agreement. He was like, absolutely. And then he walked off, and I was like, yes, Elliot. I go,
I'll be honest. With audio gear, we are very, very, very don't fuck with our stuff.
Yeah.
Don't touch my headphones, don't touch my speakers, don't touch my mixer, nothing. Do not touch, otherwise I will cut your hands off.
Yeah, I agree. You should be like that. I'm sorry if you're comfortable with just a random stranger coming up to your audio equipment, especially if you're a band, like a rock band, and just messing with stuff, and you're comfortable with that. I would be furious if it's just a random guy just walk up to the speaker that I set to be an exact way for safety of the crowd, for the safety of my own people, for the safety, for electrical reasonings, and you start messing with it. I would be furious as well.
Well, and it's not just that; it's because you actually can notice the change.
Oh yeah, you will notice the change right away. And that was the thing. Sure enough, I get up on that podium. I'm setting up the other bars. Dude, put the first one in the incorrect way. Noticed it right away. I was like, this is not the right place. I wanted to yell at him even more, be like, hey, guess what? This is wrong. But I was like, nah, that's kind of.
I'm seeing Dazzle. I'm like, that's got to happen all the time for you, man. Something gets bumped, something gets tweaked, something gets tripped on, and Dazzle's like, really, you asshole. Yeah. I need to fix your problem that you don't know how to.
I'm sure it's the same way for Gio and CJ, because both of them have families, and they have daughters, sons.
But I think their kids are
younger ones. I mean, who probably walk in there and they're like, "Oh, look at Dad's, look at Dad's gaming room," and then they touch a bunch of stuff.
The thing is, I think their children are so well behaved. I don't honestly think they go in there and start nerfing with stuff. I really don't.
I'm sure probably.
I don't know, but it just seems like they wouldn't do that. But then again,
see, with the amount of equipment I see in their rooms, I know Gio's is in his basement. Like Gio is in a basement. And CJ has his own little office room. I'm sure they probably lock the door to those rooms. They know.
I'm not surprised.
They know the value of that equipment is in the thousands.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey's stuff is probably around close to $20,000, maybe more.
Oh yeah, CJ. I see everything.
His equipment, all the stuff, the artwork, all that stuff in there is a pretty.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's like a Mike's gonna laugh at me for this one. It's like an armory. Like you have a bunch of weaponry in there, and you know that it has to be secured, otherwise something might happen to it. Kid might grab it, get his hands on it, or they might break something. I'm sure, like you said, Skills. I'm sure the kids are very well behaved, but at the same time, I'm sure they still don't take the risk. I wouldn't if I knew that I had $20,000 worth of equipment. Or in this case, let's say
I was a parent's nightmare. I was a shit who would go everywhere. I didn't give a fuck whose room it was. I would go in there and just wreck all the damage. I would just do all the things. I was the kid who got his ass spanked so many fucking times. I'm surprised I can sit down in my 40s.
So that's the thing about me, is that I will. You
will do it too.
I'm that type of person too. I would walk in other people's rooms. I'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" They're like, "Why are you in here?" And I was like, "I'm just interested in what you're doing." And they're like, "Get out." And I was like, "Oh, walk out."
All right.
Feelings are hurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think Mr. Ethan Boudreaux is going to sing us another song.
2 more songs, actually. I have.
Ooh, fancy.
I have Hold Back the River, and then at the very end of the show, I have a special performance with Wagon Wheel with my drum at the very end of the show.
Oh, okay. All right, Mr. Rockstar.
Here we go.
You got it. You got it lined up.
Yeah, I got it lined up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rockstar Ethan Boudreau is gonna perform for us now with his second song of the night. Take it away.
Try to keep you close to me, but life got in between. Try to square the beams and I should have been. Hold back the women, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the women, show I stop for a minute and be like your side. Hold back the women, hold back. Once upon a different life, we rode our bikes into the sky. Now we call against the time. Those days are flashing by. Hold back the way let me look in your eyes. Hold back the way I show I stop for a minute and be like that. Hold back the way hold back, yeah, woo. But the way let me look in your eyes. Hold back the way I show I stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the way hold back, yeah, woo. Oh, oh, oh. Need water, lonely water, won't you let us hold that? Let us hold each other, lonely water, lonely water, won't you let us hold that? Woo! Let us hold each other. So stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back, hold back, yeah, hold back, let me look in your eyes. Hold back, so I stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back, hold back, yeah, me water, lonely water, won't you let us hold that? Let us hold each other, lonely water, lonely water, to let us hold that. Let us hold each other. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rockstar Ethan Boudreau, once again.
Yes, that's right.
I got to unmute my mic, but I did clap at the end with you there, Dazzo.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. I know we kind of skipped over some stuff, but essentially, whatever audio gear you guys want, honestly, it just comes down to what can you afford, researching it, and then making a decision. Just because Dazzo and I say this stuff is what's awesome, that's our opinion. it is all subjective, and it does come down to personal preference. What do you like? What do you think sounds good? Is going to be subjective. So you just got to look into it.
Now, I do have one thing to say though. Sorry. How are you?
Uh-oh. What are you gonna say?
You're all good, brother. Go ahead.
If you guys are starting out as a content creator, or even just in general, if you guys have any questions in terms of what to buy, or you need some recommendations, my DMs are open, my Discord's open, Skittles is open as well. Yep. Feel free to come to us. We will help you as best as we can in terms of budgeting, what we recommend, and we're open to that. We want to help people.
I actually might create a channel in my Discord for, various audio stuff that might interest people if they want to take a look and see.
Because not everyone is that knowledgeable. And we, myself and Skittles alone, we have 30 years of fucking experience together.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm back.
What the fuck, Mikey?
Mike's like, 30 years of experience. I could find where you live in a matter of 5 seconds. All I need to do is pick up the phone.
But really quick, Dazzo, just because we have this all.
Oh, your mic is cutting out today. Yeah, your mic is.
30 years of experience right there, and his mic's cutting out. What a terrible.
There we go. That's better. That work?
Yep.
I was noticing it night, so yeah, fuck Wi-Fi. Fuck this Wi-Fi.
Ladies and gentlemen, 30 years of experience right there, and even the man.
You're welcome. Please don't forget to hit the like button on my new stream.
Oh no! This is Wi-Fi. This is Wi-Fi internet.
Yeah. I know.
That's why I had to restart my stream on mobile. So
yeah,
I had to.
I've got motel shitty Wi-Fi that I cannot control, and that makes me very sad.
You know what's really
as a networking guy, I fucking hate Wi-Fi.
The most embarrassing thing is like when you go to like a McDonald's and you learn that their free Wi-Fi is better than your home's Wi-Fi.
Oh, it's because it's business grade, but I wouldn't trust it with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, yeah, I neither would I. It's like going to a Star. It's like I don't know if you guys have ever heard the history YouTuber Oversimplified, but it's like there's a scene where he's got the president in the coffee shop from the Cold War.
Thank you.
And he goes, could you
message Hardy to her back on?
You did via the coffee shop Wi-Fi, the unsecured coffee shop Wi-Fi. Would I ever? And you click send, and it shows like Khrushchev getting the images of like the nuclear missiles and whatnot.
Oh God,
Mikey, did you just pepper spray yourself?
Hey, Sentinel, can you?
No, it's right there.
Dazzo, can you go and hit the like button on my stream again? I had to restart it, so I am back live for the second time. I had to restart it because I had some difficulties.
But yeah, like we all said, it's all subjective. Whatever.
Thank you.
No,
whatever you guys
actually,
want.
if you don't agree with us, that makes you the person who's inexperienced, no matter how many years of experience you have.
Wow, that's a dick saying. No, I was kidding.
That's a you problem, not a me problem.
Exactly. The saying goes, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
So, but
we recommend the products. If you don't go for it, hey, by all means, it's all personal preference and all that.
Exactly. But guys, just remember, I'm going to say this because this is very true. You get what you pay for.
Now, here's the thing. Don't just go to freaking Walmart or
Nike's line of work.
Don't just go to freaking Walmart, grab yourself a freaking microphone and think it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It does not work like that.
It does not work like that.
We've all done that though. We've all been to Target, Walmart, or whatever because we were like, I'll just get some on the cheap. And boy, do we regret it.
Trust me, the sound quality between a $10 microphone from Walmart to like a freaking $100 microphone from, say, the Yeti brand microphone, it's different. It's totally different. You can hear it.
Yep. I will say this. Bless you. The number one thing that there's a huge difference when it comes to that saying.
Waking me
money
alive.
buys you you pay for what you get. That saying has never been more true in such a time of how like our economy is working right now. Like with just like everything being more automatically expensive. Like he's right. The $20 speaker I have here that I'm using as the microphone, guarantee you right now that it is nowhere near the same as however much money Dazzle spent on his speakers that he's using for his audio playback on his computer. Same with how I think this microphone was like $15 that I'm using currently, is nowhere near the same quality that Dazzo's is either. I mean, if I could switch to mobile here and show you guys the setup, but like my microphone is nowhere near the same as what Dazzo's. Dazzo's looks like his was more than $100, whereas mine's kind of small and just $15.
Yeah. So, like I said, pricing matters. Yeah. However, if you have the money for it, spend it, but don't overspend it. Okay.
Well, I will say this. If you have the money for it, spend it on something that you know will pay out in the future. Don't just buy it and be like, okay, I bought it. Make sure the investment you're making is worth it in the long run. Because if you don't make it, I mean, like, if you don't make that investment, if you make that investment and you don't make it and it doesn't work out, you just wasted $1,600. Like the PC I have, the gaming PC, I was arrogant and I tried just buying whatever one was the amount of money I had. And then I saw one that was, I wanted to, it was originally $1,600. Then I found one that was for $1,300 that had a better graphics card, a better, CPU, storage, all that, had better everything than the $1,600 one. Make sure what you buy is worth it in the long run. Because if you're going to be doing something like this, or you're going to be trying it out, my best piece of advice, this is for any field, especially fields like Mikey's, sports officiating.
Well, sports officiating, what?
So here's the thing, I'll talk to you about this. I'll talk to you about this. As I officiate baseball, so I'm an umpire. So I'm the guys you see in black and blue. Behind
you're the asshole.
So, okay, all right. First off, I do my job pretty well. Okay, everyone, the parents, the coaches, my fellow umpires all say I do really good. Youth officials are actually good at what they do. It's the bad apples that make us look bad. Okay, like Angel Hernandez. So, anyways, safety is our top priority as an umpire whenever we're behind the plate. And so that's the same thing for a field like Mikey's, where if you're going to be a law enforcement officer and you see that, let's say, a level 3 bulletproof vest is $2,000, let's say, but you don't want to spend the money, and you see a level 3A, and you don't know the difference. For those of you who don't know the difference, level 3A can stop 9mm, a level 3 can stop rifle rounds. Not many, but it can stop a few rifle rounds. He's like,
Michael is impressive.
Mikey was like, wait, does this kid actually know what he's talking about?
They say this. He's like, this kid is 17 and he knows what he's talking about. Bravo. And so,
don't get too cocky.
You're thinking, the level 3A vest is cheaper. It's only $1,000. Guess what? You go up against, let's say, a suspect on a traffic stop. Turns out he's got AR-15, and you have a level 3A vest. That rifle round's going to go right through, and you just got yourself killed because you wanted the cheaper product. If you're going to be doing a job like that, or you're going to be doing a job, and you know you're going to be doing a long run, spend the money. And in Mikey's case, spend the money for your safety. The first thing I'm doing when I get out of college is starting to save up money, because I know the CPD is not going to. The CPD is going to give me a vest that's going to last me, maybe if I take really good care of it, up to 5 years. But I'm still going to be buying my equipment myself, because I know I need that money to protect myself as well as to protect others.
You are not wrong, my friend. You are not wrong.
Yep.
John Richard, welcome to the stream. Mikey's like, yep, very good.
Downtime.
Yeah. That kind of research. Doesn't happen overnight.
It really does. It took me a solid few weeks to find the proper vest, because I have a vest. We home plate umpires, we wear vests under our shirt. It's to protect our chest protector, basically.
Sure.
It's called a West Vest Gold, $250 stock. This thing can take 100-mile-an-hour fastball. You will not feel a thing. And they've tested this. They've shot out of the pitching machine, 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It hits you, but in the end, it works just fine.
I just got images of Homer Simpson getting smacked in the stomach with a freaking cannonball.
Oh no!
So that's the thing. I've taken 80-mile-an-hour fastballs to the face on my face mask, but because I spent the $190, well, I didn't spend. It was a Christmas gift, but it is $190 stock price. That $190 was worth it from getting a concussion.
Yeah, I remember years ago, one of our professional baseball players, Kirby Puckett, he was hit in the side of the head with a wild pitch.
My next 10:30
and they think that's what contributed to his glaucoma in the end. But he did not have the special ear guard because he got hit on that side of the head.
Alexa, what are my
and just thinking about that for a second here, like that's a very powerful hit. Take that to the chest without proper gear, that'll fucking stop your heart.
Oh yeah,
that'll fucking stop your heart. You'll drop to the ground.
Yeah.
We had an umpire. They had an umpire in the MLB. He took a shot to the chest. It stopped his heart. He died on the field.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah,
years. It's about quite a few years back now. But he got hit in the chest and it killed him.
Yep.
It stopped his heart and it killed him from the shock. Because that's the thing, is that when you see these umpires, if you actually do the job of an umpire, people when they see an umpire get hit, they're like, you deserve it. But if you're an official, you're like, oh, you're scared for them because you know how that feels to get hit like that, especially if you've endured.
My dad got his forearm broken from a line drive, and this was a fucking softball that hit him. He got hit by a line drive in the arm, and my dad was like, broke his arm. So
I got hit with a bat before. I've been hit with a bat before. It was in Babe Ruth, and this guy's a lefty. So I'm setting up this, as we call it, the slot position, which is in between the batter and the catcher, and like that little
little hole. Yep.
So he swings, loses his grip. This is a metal bat, by the way. Keep in mind, metal bat comes flinging at me, hits me straight in the face. If I wasn't wearing that mask, my face definitely would have a broken jawline. He hits my mask. Mask tilts like way left, and it's at like a 90-degree angle, kind of. And I'm just like, huh. I go, nice. And everyone's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
It was just a tickle.
Yeah, it is.
Literally, like that's just how effective my equipment is. Like I've taken I'll do little league games every once in a while, and these kids sometimes will pitch too low to the point where the catcher can't get it, but it hits my shoes.
How you doing? You can't know.
And they're throwing like 40 miles. They're throwing good, solid 40 miles an hour. 40-mile-an-hour ball hits me in the shoe. Don't feel a thing.
Yeah.
They're steel toe shoes, so you don't feel a thing. So I'm just like, cool. Same thing, a foul ball ricocheted off, hit me in my face mask. This is a Father's Day game. My mask, it's blue, so it matches my shirt. It's light blue and it matches my shirt. Mask tilted 90 degrees. I'm sitting there, kneeling. And I finally realized the mask went right, and I just looked down and I was like, okay, took a big sigh, and everyone was like, you all right, Blue? And I was like, got up, clapped my hands. I was like, yep, okay, let's do this. Put the mask back, foul ball. So whenever I see guys on TV get hit like that, I already know what they're going through. There's 2 stages of being hit as an umpire. The first stage is shock, when you realize like, oh, this 90-mile-an-hour fastball just hit me here. The second stage is the realization and the pain that comes after if there's a small amount of pain.
Yeah.
And for some of these older guys, like that guy who got killed from it, his heart couldn't handle the shock of a moving vehicle, basically, like a vehicle on a highway, speed, hitting him that quickly. His heart and brain could not process that, and it killed him from basically a shock attack. And that's the one thing that, a lot of people don't understand is that officials can get seriously injured or killed just as much as the players can. Now, granted, the players don't have all that protective equipment, so their chances of, being killed increase. But even with that equipment, higher than that in the MLB.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, if you ever take a fastball to the nuts, I don't give a shit what you're wearing. Ain't nothing going to protect you from that.
Okay, so listen, they invented
you're gonna walk away. You're gonna be singing like Michael Jackson.
I'm telling you, I took one straight to it. I took one straight to him, 70 miles an hour. Used this cup called the Nutty Buddy. Didn't feel a thing. Don't get me wrong. It stung. I could feel it. Never collapsed or anything. I was just like, oh, I was like, okay. I was like, so that's what that feels like. And I was like at 70 miles an hour. I was like, and then, after the situation was over, I hear the pitcher go, hey, you want to try 90? And I was like, bro, let's go. I was just like, let's go. I was like, hit it. I was like, because I'm telling you right now, this cup is literally, like, they've tested it before. They literally took the owner of the product. He put it on, and he put himself in front of the pitching machine, set it to the top speed, which I think was like 95. Dude's there, fires the ball, hits it right in the cup area. Dude just kind of like stumbles a bit from the impact force, and he's like, with my product, your nuts are guaranteed protection.
I'm sorry, I'm just sitting here cross-legged right now, screaming, just every bit of
I think Mikey is too. I can just see on his face and like him covering his mouth, like, no, please stop. We're just it's don't get me wrong, you are absolutely right. It's like you'll still have a sting, but
a sting? Are you kidding me? A sting?
Yeah,
no, that's gonna be like I ain't gonna have kids again.
So here's the thing. That's what's happening.
Oh God, what's going on?
And here's the thing. You know what a manager is starting to do around the league? He'll walk into the dugout and he'll go up to the umpires and he'll be like, "Hey, Blue," and we're just like, "What?" And he goes, and he has a bat in his hand, and he goes, "We need a cut check on you guys." And I went, I was like, "Oh, no, you ain't." I was like, and we started running off because we're like, "No, you ain't." Because for those of you who are hazing technique or something, please. For those of you who don't know what a cup check is, it's when you basically take the barrel of or not the barrel. It's when you take the handlebar of a bat and you basically like tap the private area of a man. And if it doesn't like make a hard surface contact with an object, that person's not wearing the cup. The punishment is you take the barrel of the bat, swing it under there with all the might of the force you can, and you hit them directly in the no-no area. And that person will learn their lesson, not only of not having the ability to reproduce, but they also will never learn to always have their cup on.
That sounds odd.
Dude, your generation
wasn't wearing his cup, so he was he goes, "I'm doing a cup check on you." He does me, and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You can do it." He does it to me. He's like, "Very good, home." He goes, "Very good, Blue." He turns to my partner, and he did it. He goes, "I'm wearing a cup." And then he flips the bat, and my base umpire goes, "Oh no, you ain't!" He books it, and the head coach runs after him. It was really funny. I mean, obviously they were joking. He wasn't really going to hit him with it, but it was a great. Myself and the players, we all had a great time with it because it was so funny. Because it was just we're seeing a 50-year-old man running at another 50-year-old man with a bat in his hand. If you didn't know the context, you would look like that as a manager trying to kill the umpire over a call. He's there looking it. So you're just sitting there, you're just sitting there like everyone's just sitting there laughing, and then like if you don't know the context of the situation, you're like, why are they just standing around laughing? Help him! So we actually did have a parent that was like, we had a parent call the local PD about our guy with a blunt instrument. PD got on scene and we were just like, hey, they didn't have context. They did the right thing still for calling it in. They're just like, everything's under control here. Because umpires, actually, we act as park security officials. So we have the right to kick you out or call the police and have you detained. We can't physically detain you. As a person who takes criminal justice courses, I'm telling you right now, the whole citizen's arrest BS, that doesn't give you the right as a citizen to detain someone. That just simply allows you to basically tackle someone to the ground, hold them against their will, and hope to God you are in the right, because if you're not, you're going to jail. Law enforcement, on the other hand, is different. Law enforcement have the legal right to stop you, and you have to stay there with them until they verbally or physically say you're free to go or you can go. Citizen's arrest is different. I almost performed citizen's arrest on a coach, because my partner is ex-police officer, retired for about 10 years now.
Fuck
and
is that?
So he did the UI unit for like 7 of his years on the force. Then he left. I went back to patrol.
Thank you very much.
The home plate, the head manager of the team walks up, and my partner, he's the home plate umpire, and he's looking him up and down, and then he walks away. And my partner, he calls my name, and he's like, "Come here." And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" I was like, "The game hasn't started yet." I was like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "The head manager might be intoxicated." And I was like, "What?" I'm just like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, his pupils, he goes, "I think they were dilating." And at the time, I didn't know what that meant, because I was like 15, and I hadn't taken my law classes and that. Now I know what that means. It's those, so, you know, it's kind of hard to show, is like talk-wise, but if people who don't know what that means, it basically means that those black dots in the center of your eye, they start, like, they're physically, like, it looks like they're vibrating, but they're actually, like, physically moving. And that's because your body kind of really can't control the amount of either narcotics or alcohol that you've ingested into your body. It's like, basically, it's like a caffeine addiction when your hands are shaking a lot, but just take those tiny black dots in your eye and make them, like, move left and right or up and down. And so,
I'm watching for the...
I call the manager over there, and I was like, "What am I looking for?" And he's like, "Check to see if those tiny dots in his eyes are moving up and down or left and right." And call the manager over here, and I was like, "Hey, I just want to have a talk with you about some rules." I was making an excuse up to talk to him. I'm looking him dead in the eyes, and, you know, just so happened to be his eyes, like, it wasn't necessarily his pupils, it was more just like he kept moving his eyes rapidly, and when you do that, your pupils will, like, they will get big or small. When your pupils dilate, I did forget to add
this. Hey, Heidi, welcome back.
Very, very small. When your pupils dilate, like when your pupils dilate from narcotic or alcohol intoxication,
thank you very much, guys.
Those black dots shrink down very tiny, and that wasn't the case for this guy. I saw his pupils were kind of like tiny, but they weren't like super, like to the point where you'd have to like squint your eyes to look at it. So I'm thinking to myself, I walk up, and, you know, nowadays I'd probably walk up and be like, "No, it's fine. I don't think he's intoxicated." But I was like, "It looks like it." And my home plate umpire, he's like, "All right, stand back. I'll take care of this." And so, you know, what ended up happening was he talked to the guy on the side, like he pulled the manager off the field and took him way away somewhere. And everyone's like, "Why isn't the game starting?" I'm like, "The home plate umpire and manager had to discuss something in private." I go, "That's all I know." And the other team's manager was like, "Well, he's like, well, we're stalling this game." And I'm like, "Don't worry, we haven't started the timer yet. We'll start the timer once that first pitch is thrown." So he never ended up getting arrested, but the home plate umpire, I'm sure, probably police interrogated him, like pushed him against, you know, "Did you drink before this game?"
There it is.
So yeah, but I almost born citizen's arrest. You know, I laugh at it now because I know for a fact now this dude wasn't intoxicated, but like, nowadays, I would have walked up to the home plate umpire and been like, "So what's your PC?" And only Mikey knows what that acronym means, because he's the only one who's a police officer here. I said, "What's your PC or RS here?" And and so I'm like, because you do realize we need either PC or RS to, you know, actually do anything to him. Dazzo, you sound like you wanted to take a guess.
I already know what it means.
You do?
Hello, I've been playing 5M roleplay for a while.
Okay,
yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah, all right. But here, watch this. Okay, so here, Mikey, you know what? I'm gonna get off topic for just a second here. Mikey, I'm gonna ask you something. I guarantee you ain't gonna know this because I guarantee that 5M Roleplay hasn't taught you this. Mikey, is it legal to shoot? Is it legal to shoot a fleeing felon in the back if they pose no threat to the public or yourself?
Tennessee versus Garner.
Did you know that? You definitely didn't. I could see the smirk in your face.
Yeah, he already knew that.
Yes, welcome back.
He knew that a long time ago.
Back.
No, I'm saying, did you know that, Dazzo?
Mm-hmm.
Him, I already know he knows that.
Of course, I know that.
I just mentioned the case law.
He mentioned the. I say you.
You will never shoot someone who's unarmed, regardless if they're the
to be
suspect
fair,
or
though,
not.
that shit has happened regardless.
Yes.
I don't know if it's on the books.
Law
It has
is,
fucking happened.
The law is that you cannot shoot a fleeing felon.
You guys are gonna get to hear me play the drum when we end the stream.
Or the
I'm gonna play the drum to Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker when we end the stream.
They could be unarmed and still pose a danger to the public, but you really need to have a gut feeling / knowing feeling this guy's going to try something against a member of the public.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times from what we've studied in class is that a lot of the times we've seen guys we've seen this one local police department. This guy was just walking. The suspect started running from him in handcuffs. Got a jog a bit, pulled out his gun, fired 2 rounds, hit him in the back.
Yeah.
Holy cow! It's snowing at your place, Mikey. What?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this has actually been a really interesting episode for sure. I've actually learned a lot.
Yeah.
See, I've learned a lot. I've not only learned a lot, but I also got to meet new people, which is always a pleasure, especially guys like you, Mikey and Skittles and Ethan, who are, Mikey, law enforcement, Skittles, who's a fellow musician like me, and then Ethan, who's a streamer like Dazzo, who's trying to get things going for himself.
He's a singer.
Yeah, he's a singer too.
I've been running I'm on YouTube actually.
And I'm a content creator too. But I'm just like, it's like my music is my passion. That's always been my thing.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm like Dazzle and I. It's funny because Dazzle and I actually have kind of very different opinions about like what's really good audio, and we kind of had a bit of a struggle between the who's right and who's wrong. And it's like we're both right. I mean, we're both right. It's comes down to personal preferences. It comes down to what you can afford, and it also comes down to just research the hell out of the stuff. Don't just buy stuff. Just don't buy random stuff because I've done that. Yeah. You will regret pissing your money away if you just buy random stuff.
Absolutely. Yep. I will say this: if you guys, have a passion for something like this, or even if it's just music, or if it's umpiring, or if it's singing, if it's law enforcement, and you need to spend the money for whatever it is that you need to be successful, or in law enforcement terms, alive. Spend the money, do the research, look into it. If you know friends or family that are in these professions, or people that are in the professions, ask them for advice.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, if a person who is in the field, or a person who is in a field about your passion, will be much more reliable than the computer and what Google will say. Yep. Google's going to go based off of
recommendations and facts, and
versus a human being's going to go off of personal experience and how it actually is. Google goes off of what it's supposed to be like and the facts and statistics of it. Now, I'm not saying Google's never going to be a correct source of information, and blah, blah, blah. But do the research online. But if you know people that are in the field or the passion that you're interested in, talk to them and ask them about their personal preferences too, because their information is just going to be as valuable as what Google provides.
Yep.
I think actually better because Google's just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Google's just Google.
Google's just Google.
All right, guys.
But we gotta wrap things up tonight. But
no, but hold on. Before we do that,
do I detect?
Before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I think Mr. Ethan Boudreau has one more final track for all of us.
And I will be doing the closing if you don't mind, Dago. After this, I will do the closing.
Yeah, well, you can do that because you're a nice guy, and you're a wise guy, and you're fucking awesome.
Thank you.
But before we get to that, before we let Mr. Ethan Boudreau do his last performance, I don't want to say big shout-outs to FourSeasonsHosting.com. Go check out their website. They got some amazing deals on VPS servers, game servers, web hosting, code servers as well, where you can store your codes. They got a lot more products
going to play the
and
drum
amazing
for you
products
guys.
coming up
play the drum
more
for
in
you
the future.
guys.
So once again, FourSeasonsHosting.com. Go check them out. Amazing stuff. Amazing customer service.
Your code still works, right, Ray Dazzo?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Use the code Ray Dazzo.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, not these two.
Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. You betcha.
Hey, go get your poutine, eh?
Hey. Okay.
Or you know.
Ladies and gentlemen.
How about we resolve this in Ireland with some potatoes?
Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, the rock star Ethan Boudreau. Take it away, my friend.
Here we
Take it
go.
away.
The last performance, the special one, with my drum, wagon wheel. Headed up south to the land of the pines. Come my way down to North Carolina. Stand up the road, pretty gonna see headlights. Down the coast in 17 hours, picking me up, boot cab dog with flowers, and I'm hoping from out here I could see my baby tonight. So, me mama like a wagon wheel. Rock me mama anyway you feel. Hey, 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 mama rock me. Rock me mama like a wind in the wind. Rock me mama like a southbound train. Hey, hey, mama rock me. I'm going up to New England. I was born to be a fiddler and an old tongue string band. I did play the guitar. I play a banjo now. Oh no, country weather get me down. Like my money playing poker, so I had to leave town. But ain't no turning back to living that old life no more. Hey, so me mama like a wagon wheel. Rock me mama anyway you feel. Hey, 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 mama, rock me. Hey, rock me mama like a wind in the rain. Rock me mama like a southbound train. Hey, 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 mama, rock me. walking to the town. Oh, got a truck on a Philly, had a nice long talk. He's a anyway from a Klein down to Johnson City, Tennessee. I gotta get a move before the sun. I hear my baby calling my name. Oh, yeah. If I rally, at least I will die free. Go up, hey, mama, to beg. Rock, hey, mama, any way you feel. Hey, hey, mama, rock me. Hey, rock me, mama, like a wind in the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, 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 mama, rock me. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen! Woo! The final performance of the night for episode 15 of the Dazzle Nation podcast.
Wow. That was epic.
Yep.
Drumming and singing at the same time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that was awesome. Thank you, Ethan, for that amazing performance tonight.
You're welcome.
You wanna cut that closing remarks?
Yes. From everybody here at the Dazzle Nation podcast team, myself, Mikey, and Skittles and Dazzle. Thank you for watching episode number 15 of the Dazzle Nation podcast. This is also video 316 for me. 316 videos as of tonight. We're closing on 33,000 YouTube channel views. 33,000 YouTube channel views. Yes, that's right. And 900 subscribers. We're closing very close to 900 subscribers. Thank you very much. On behalf of myself, again, we'll see you guys next week for episode 16 of the Dazzle Nation podcast, right here on the Dazzle Nation and my channel. Have a good night, everybody!
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ethan Boudreau, Mr. Skittle Kicks, Mr. Mikey, Mr. Warrior. And, of course, say thank you to the entire moderation team. Got a bunch of you amazing people to thank you
I'm still not done
for keeping the chat alive and keeping the spammers away from the chat. So, thank you to everybody for watching. We love you all.
Thank you,
and of course, Mr. Warrior. Thank you for being here and chatting it up with us.
Absolutely.
I'm not done yet.
You had to do that, eh?
It was nice though to get to meet quite you three. Dazzo, he's my second boss in Jeffrey's server, so I kind of work with him on a daily basis. So I've known him for quite some time. But it was good to meet you, Mike, and it was good to meet you, Ethan, and Skittles. But
good to meet you too, and welcome to.
So, very glad, Mike. I appreciate what you do for the country. I know many people don't know what you do. I don't know what the hell you do, but I know you do it for the sake of national security and ensuring that my family gets to eat 3 meals a day, 7 days a week for 365 days of the year. And for that, your service will always be appreciated to my family and to the United States government, even though the government probably doesn't really like you that much. So, oh shit! I made something crash, but sadly, I have to take it away.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you to FourSeasonsHosting.com for sponsoring the podcast tonight, as always. And tomorrow night, I will be back with some more American Truck Simulator. I'm going to be driving the Freightliner FLB as we continue Retro Week here on ATS.
And
make sure you guys tune in tomorrow.
And speaking of ATS, before we go, I will be back tomorrow also with episode 3 of ATS Live on my channel. Yes, that's right. ATS Live will be back on my channel tomorrow, or maybe in a live hangout. I don't know yet, but either way, I'll be back live tomorrow night. See you guys, and good night, Dazzle.
Good night, buddy.
Actually, really quick, Dazzo, I'm back, by the way.
Yes.
What is the stream plan for tomorrow? Like, what time are you thinking we're going to go live?
That depends if I get stuck in traffic or I get stuck in that snow. Because we're supposed to get a bunch of fucking snow tomorrow.
That? You're the Dazzo Nation. You're not stopped by snow or traffic.
No.
Plow through every car, commit a few fatalities, and then
in Canada, you guys need big vehicles.
No.
Like monster truck size. They need to just drive over the small ass car.
If you take
I know, but I'm waiting for Dazzle to end his stream before I end mine so we can end at the same time.
Alright, with that said, we'll see you all tomorrow night for some more ATS live stream. Good night, everybody!
Later.
And of course, keep striving. No matter what you guys do in life, stay out of fucking trouble. Your boy, Dazzle Nation, is out for the night.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night. Good night, kiddos.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a good stream.
That was terrible.
Oh, terrible.
Good night, kiddos.
I was joking with that. So that was great though. I did appreciate meeting you, Skittles, especially.
Alright, performances by Ethan Woodrow Nation. I'll be back tomorrow with another epic stream. Good night, everybody, and I will be back again, like I said, tomorrow for another epic stream, either a live hangout